Before we get into today's video, I just want to let you guys know that this video is for educational purposes only. Please remember to be kind to everybody everywhere, in your everyday life, in your home, in the grocery store, and especially in the comment section down below. Please do not show hate to anybody, anywhere. So good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? I hope you all are having an amazing day. I hope you all are having a wonderful week so far. I hope everybody is feeling good. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about a very intriguing situation. I'll just say it like that. How many of y'all are either taking care of your parents, helping to take care of your parents, a family member, or you are still helping your adult children, which no shame in, especially in this day and age. You know, family, we're supposed to stick together, right? We're supposed to help each other out and really kind of be in it for the long haul. I mean, up until a certain degree, in my opinion. I don't believe in like enabling certain behaviors, but helping when you can, for sure. Before we get into it, though, I did want to let you guys know, if you don't already know, hi, my name is Christina. I do have a second channel, which is Casually Christina. We just do things way more casually over there. I also have a Patreon. My Patreon's for 18 and up. And over there, we talk about more personal stuff. We go live over there. There is a $2 tier over there for all the true crime stuff that cannot go onto YouTube due to their terms and policies. That goes over on my Patreon under the $2 tier. As a matter of fact, while the whole Delphi trial thing has been going on, we've been talking quite a bit back and forth about that over there as well. If you're interested in that type of thing, or if there's certain cases that you're wondering why I haven't covered or if I'm covering them, you can always check on my Patreon and look down and see if I'm covering it over there. Just make sure you read the full about section and what each tier offers before you join. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat, and I'm also on Like to Know It. And Like to Know It is a platform where you can find links to all of the things that you guys ask about or I like and I use and I love, everything from makeup to skincare, hair care, products, swimsuits, clothing items, cooking utensils, literally anything, furniture that I like or that I use that I have or y'all ask about. I link that over on my Like to Know It. And all of those platforms are linked down in the description box if you would like to come and check me out. So let me tell y'all about Virginia, okay? Back in 2019, 36-year-old Virginia McCullough was living in Great Baddow, Essex, which is in the UK, with her parents, John and Lois McCullough. Her father, 70-year-old John, was a retired business lecturer who had worked at Anglia Ruskin University. Her mother, 71-year-old Lois, was a loving wife and a homemaker. But John and Lois were both trying to enjoy their golden years. And at this time, they had had some pretty, concerning health issues going on. And as you can imagine, as they're up in their older years, it happens. John actually had high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes. He also had high cholesterol and glaucoma. Lois struggled with agoraphobia, and if you know what that is, that's where like the fear of like going out into public. And she also had some pretty distinct and serious traits of OCD. Now, given their health problems, Virginia, their 36-year-old daughter at this point, had become their main caretaker. And this is what any good parent, in my opinion, can hope for, is one day if a parent, we get in our older years and we need help, hopefully we're close enough with our children that if they have the time and they're able to, they are the ones that come over and help. But Virginia was their main caretaker. However, in total, John and Lois actually had 5 daughters. Virginia was the youngest of them. Now, because she took on the role of being their full-time caregiver, Virginia was living with her parents for completely rent-free. However, she told them that she was studying to become an artist, but in reality, she was actually taking advantage of her parents. So they think she's living there. She's helping them out. She's going to school. She's making something of herself, 36 years old, and they're happy to help. But Virginia had actually been running up her parents' credit cards. And when she was asked about it, Virginia told her parents that the money had been lost to scams. Like, I don't know how it happened. It was scams and . by 2019, Virginia had racked up almost 60,000 pounds, which is almost $70,000 if you're here in the U.S., worth of debt, and had even forged letters to cover her tracks. Virginia hadn't had a real job since 2017. And according to Virginia's older sisters, Virginia was a compulsive liar. Nobody could trust anything she said. If it was coming out of Virginia's mouth, yeah, you know the rest. But it was not until 2023 that the truth about just how badly Virginia really treated her parents would actually come to light. In September of 2023, the Essex Police received a call from John and Lois's primary care doctor saying that he was concerned for their welfare because he hadn't seen them or heard from them in quite a long time. I mean, what a great doctor. Virginia had always had an excuse, though, but this time, John hadn't picked up one of his regular prescriptions, so the police decided to treat this case as an actual missing persons report. The officers went out to the family home and spoke with Virginia. She told them that her parents were traveling and that they would not be back until October. Now, given their health problems, officers became very suspicious of Virginia's story. The local PD decided that they were going to go and get a search warrant a couple days later. This is when Virginia decided that she was going to give a shocking confession.
Sorry. No one in here at the moment. Hold on. The police. Got it.
Stay where you are.
Stay where you are.
Show me
Stay where you are.
your
Show
hat.
your shines. You there?
Jenny?
Yep.
Jenny? Oh. The time is 12:12. You're under arrest on suspicion of murder against Jonathan McCullough and Lois McCullough.
Yeah,
Okay?
okay.
You don't have to say anything, but it may harm defence. If you do not
No, I just
mention
take my cover.
when in question, so much like want anything to do with something of the evidence. Okay? Alright, your arrest
I'll
is necessary
cooperate, I'll
for a
cooperate.
prompt and effective.
Is there anything in the pocket we should know about?
Yes, there
Where?
is. Can I take you to it?
No, you can tell me.
Can you go in there for a second, just so I can tell you something about what's in there?
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah,
Just tell us
the only
something
reason
about
I
what's in
said I need to tell you something about what's upstairs on the top floor as well.
it's fine.
Yeah, okay.
It's a bit more quieter. Is it here? Yes, mind your feet, so obviously we
I'm so not that dangerous.
No, it's fine.
I know, but obviously I've got to be careful. My dad's body's in there.
Right, okay.
Yep, okay. Obviously I'll
What about
say,
your mum?
a little bit more complicated.
Okay.
That's why I said, can I go upstairs and show
Right,
you?
can you
If
explain
wanna
it to us,
bring
please? Because
officers,
we're trying to preserve this. It's now going to be seen, so we need to preserve this the best we can. So I don't want you to have you walking up there,
my
all right?
cover, please.
Because that's for your well-being as well as ours.
Oh, no, up.
Okay. So what?
Thank you.
Where
Can I grab
will
some
we
hair
find your
bands
mum?
as well, if possible?
Where will we find your mum?
Okay, so upstairs there are about 5 wardrobes.
Yep.
It's behind the bed, but back next to the sink. It's the second one. I've slipped 5 of those into his drink. There were about 2 or 3 drinks that I brought downstairs. Yeah, they were basically, he didn't drink all of them. He only drank probably about half of 2. But yeah, when I went in the morning, this was before my mother. When I went in the morning, early hours, I got up about half an hour early, about 6 o'clock in the morning. Came in and he was gone. He was gone.
Okay.
It's I did know that this would kind of come eventually. It's proper that I serve my punishment. So yeah.
Okay, so Virginia, I'm just going to ask you this. This is what I've written down based on the information you just told us, because what we regard as a significant comment, because you've made
Well, I
it
wanna help.
under caution
Those
after your
paintings,
arrest.
by the way, are part of they're my granddad's.
Okay, right. So I've written this, please. I, Virginia McCullough, I have informed police constables 77329 Brown and 79387 Bowers after entering my house on Friday the 15th September 2023 that I murdered my father, John McCullough, who was stated was under a bed in the rear ground floor of the house, and my mother upstairs in a cupboard next to the sink.
Wardrobe. It's a double wardrobe.
Right, okay, I've written
Double
cupboard.
wardrobe. It's like 4 wardrobe doors, but it's the one nearest the sink. Double wardrobe.
Pick up then.
Yeah.
What's significant as I've written down here now, I've just read out to you. Are you happy to sign that, to say that's a true account?
Yeah. Cheer up, at least you caught the bad guy.
I've just woken up today and done my job. No.
I know I don't seem
Not a lot.
100% evil, but we all, yeah, not.
I'm not going to comment on anything. It's not my job to comment on it, okay? Because I've got to be impartial with everything, okay? So I'm not going to give any comment.
No, well, I mean, I deserve to obviously get whatever's coming sentence-wise, because that's the right thing to do. And that might give me a bit of peace. Also in the handbag as well, there's and again, because you're probably going to need to know about it, there's a card in there, card one money, and that's a bank card where there's a lot of transactions that have taken place over the last few years.
What?
From money that pertains to my parents.
On June 17th of 2019, Virginia prepared a cocktail of prescription medication, which she then gave her parents. When Virginia was making these cocktails for her loving parents, who had her at 36 years old, not working, getting them into debt, blaming it on scams, and they're taking care of her, and she's taking care of them, when she decided to make these cocktails for her parents, her father was a drinker. He would drink, okay? She ended up putting enough crushed up prescription pills into his drink to end his life. However, she made a drink for her mother, and her mother did not drink alcohol, and so very often. And so she did not drink enough for this to be fatal. After finding her father deceased in bed the next morning, she basically OD'd him with this alcoholic beverage. Virginia then bludgeoned and stabbed her own mother, Lois, until she passed away while she was lying in bed listening to the radio. I mean, Virginia had even gone to her own doctor to get treatment for a cut on her hand that she got from what she ended up doing to her mother. So she cut herself in the process and then went to the doctor about it afterwards. After being treated for this cut on her hand, Virginia then drove into town to buy gloves and sleeping bags using her father's credit card once again. Then she ended up going back to the home where she started to work on her plan to hide her parents' bodies. Now, for her father, Virginia created like this makeshift tomb that consisted of breeze blockers and sleeping bags in her father's downstairs office. Then she covered it with like a bunch of blankets and paintings, like you can see in this photo right here. Virginia then took her mother's body and wrapped it in this sleeping bag and hid it in an upstairs closet. From there, Virginia would go on to create all these like elaborate stories to explain why her parents had just disappeared and weren't around anymore. She continued to use their credit cards though, and she even applied for new ones in her parents' names. Like, can you believe the actual audacity? When you say, how do you sleep at night? You know, I know some people out there, I'm not going to name no names, but you say something offhanded, or maybe you spoke too much and you're thinking about it for 3 days. Like, dadgum, why'd I say that? Why'd I say that? And this daughter got her parents in the house with her, lying constantly, still spending money in their names and applying for new credit cards in their names. Virginia would send birthday cards and gifts and text messages posing as her parents to keep people from like finding out what she had done. Virginia continued to live in her parents' house too, with her parents that were still there for 4 years. She had her parents in that house with her while she continued to go on like nothing ever happened. Their bodies were so decomposed that they had to be identified by their teeth. All the while, she's sitting up there collecting their pensions and gambling all the money away. It would later be said that Virginia collected nearly 150,000 pounds, posing as her parents. She spent 21,000 pounds on gambling between 2019 and 2023 alone. And it also did not help that the pandemic kept most people away, and it seemed like it was a good reason for her parents to stay away from going out and seeing other people, especially given with their health problems. You know, they would not want to be in contact with others and risk, COVID at that time. However, when the officers showed up to do this welfare check and then serve this warrant, this actually wasn't the first time that officers had been called to the house since Virginia's parents went missing. Weeks prior to the discovery of their bodies, Virginia herself called the police and had them come out to her house, to discuss some sort of like assault charge against her. Nothing ever ended up coming from this complaint, but some have wondered if this was Virginia just testing the waters to see if she would be caught. Or maybe she just liked the thrill. Now, after her confession, Virginia was then arrested and taken in for questioning. During her questioning, Virginia said that she had beat her mother to death. She described it as like someone badly playing the xylophone. She also told investigators the location of a knife that she had used, as well as a hammer that Virginia claimed would still have red bodily fluids on it.
So, murder weapon is upstairs in the toilet room, kitchen knife, it's in the middle of the brown carpet, against the wall, opposite the shelves. So there are two long white shelves, so opposite where that wall is, that's where the knife is. So next bit is very hard to talk about. That's probably the most grisly detail. So on the ground floor, underneath the stairs, there's a few like storage boxes and things. And in the middle, I think it's in one of the boxes or in a bag or something. If you want me to shush after this, it's fine. But every bit helps. You will find forensically it's helpful. There's a hammer. I know, but I'm trying to help so you find everything. It's in the middle underneath the stairs. It will still have blood on it. It's rusted, but it will still have blood traces on it.
Virginia was charged with 2 counts of murder, and Virginia did end up going on to plead guilty to both of these charges. She was sentenced in October of this year, 2024, to life in prison. Now, the judge ordered that she must serve 36 years in prison before she would be considered for parole, which I can tell you right now, had this happened in Florida, in the United States, there would be no parole. It would be, see ya for the rest of forever for what you did to your parents, and then again, what you did afterwards. But interestingly, the judge said because Virginia immediately confessed, this is why he decided to not actually give her life in prison.
Good afternoon. Virginia McCullough murdered her parents in cold blood. Her actions were considered meticulous and carried out in such a way as to conceal what she had done for as long as possible. These were the actions of someone who had taken time to plan and carry out the murder of her parents in the interests of self-preservation and personal gain, before living within metres of the bodies of her 2 victims for a number of years. Throughout the course of our investigation, we have built a picture of the vast levels of deceit, betrayal and fraud that she was engaged in. It was on a shocking and monumental scale. McCullough lied about almost every aspect of her life, maintaining a charade to deceive everyone close to her and clearly taking advantage of her parents' goodwill. She is an intelligent manipulator who chose to kill her parents callously without a thought for them or those who continue to suffer as a result of their loss. The details of this case shock and horrify even the most experienced of murder detectives, let alone members of the public. It therefore follows that the wider family of John and Lois understandably could never have guessed or anticipated that McCullough would be capable of undertaking these murders before committing herself to this level of deceit. They have been left utterly devastated by the circumstances of this case, and they continue to feel the loss of John and Lois each and every day. This process, from the finding of John and Lois's remains to the unravelling of McCullough's web of lies, has taken a huge toll on the wider family network. With this sentence, and with all that we have uncovered throughout our investigation, we hope they can now start to find a way forward with their lives. The family have continued to struggle with the intense media interest in this case, and I would repeat in the strongest possible terms their wish for their privacy to be respected as they continue to grieve their loss. Thank you.
Virginia will be eligible for parole in October of 2059, and when asked why she did what she did, Virginia claimed that her parents were abusive towards her. However, Virginia's siblings said that that was lies and it was disgusting, and she was totally misrepresenting the way that her parents were. It did come out during some of Virginia's court hearings that she had been diagnosed with paranoia and autism. It did come out, though, that Virginia's lawyer did not want to use those diagnoses as excuses for what she did, and a joint statement was issued by the family. It said, "Our family has been left devastated and heartbroken at the deaths of our parents who were taken from us so cruelly. As we try to move forward with our lives, we will remember the happy times that we enjoyed with them. Our mom and dad are forever in our hearts and are loved and missed beyond any measure." What do I think? I think that I've said this in plenty of other videos. I cannot think of a more horrible way to go out than to be looking up at your child, the person that you love more than yourself, more than anything. You know, as mothers, I cannot speak for fathers because I don't know what it's like to be a father, but I know what it's like to be a mother. When you're pregnant and you have your baby and all the stuff you go through, the good times, the bad times, the worries, the feeding them a bottle, teaching them to walk, listening to them make their first sounds and their first smile and their first words, and they grow up in their little backpacks at school and then graduating, and like this whole process to look up like her mother with the radio playing and see her daughter standing over her. I cannot think of a worse way to go out. And they were trying to help her. And they obviously, I don't know what happened when she was younger. I know what the other family said, and they always said that she was a pathological liar. She lied about everything, basically. But they were obviously trying to help her. She had already rung up almost $70,000 in credit card debt while living with them to take care of them. Terrible. 36 years, though. Hopefully there's some sort of rehabilitation in the prison systems there. Y'all can let me know if you're from the UK down below what you think about that and how that is. Because if you have a person that is like this, and you just put them in with a bunch of other criminals and there's no rehabilitation and you let them back out, especially into a world 36 years later that they don't know, what are the odds? I don't know. And I do have a question about the other 4 siblings. I know that she was sending out text messages, but they never FaceTimed or in 4 years never got on the phone with their parents. Like, I mean, come on. I know some people don't like to call. Some of y'all watching this right now, you don't like to get on the phone with your moms, your dads, or your grandparents, but call them twice a year, something. Hear their voices. Anyways, let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section down below. Other than that, I love you all. Thank y'all so much for watching this video, and I will see y'all in the next one. Love you guys. Bye.